Soul was directed by Pete Docter and Kemp Powers and stars Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. And Disney and Pixar have a great track record in terms of their films, lineups, and everything like that when it comes into The Incredibles and Monsters Inc. For the most part, this is a great film in terms of the story and subject matter. A lot of the things that fell flat for me here is that honestly it didn't really capture the Disney magic, so to speak. A lot of the things that they talk about here is the reach or the journey to go towards what you truly desire, what you truly want, you know? And I think Soul captures that beautifully. It's just that I think kids won't really understand that in the first viewing. So you probably need, some kind of explanation and to talk down and to sit down with the kids to learn more about what the movie is talking about primarily. But it's a great film. It's fun. The music is catchy. The cinematography and the animation is beautiful. Disney and Pixar are notorious for that when it comes into the animation style. It's just that, when it comes into the story, it didn't really resonate and it didn't really stick with me. I think this is easily a passable movie that you can put on the background while you're doing your your chores or your things and stuff. It's just that for me, I just didn't really think it was Disney's best movie. I'm going to give Soul a solid B. So guys, what did you think about Soul? Did you like it? Did you didn't like it? Love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. And let me know, what is your favorite Disney Pixar film? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Mine is, of course, The Incredibles. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is directed by George C. Wolfe and it stars Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, and Coleman Domingo, and many more. Guys, this film really hit a lot of the heartstrings with me. And Netflix is notorious for drawing a lot of viewers with its series, but with its movies, it kind of, is 50-50. But this one is easily one of Netflix's best films. Netflix has a long track record of providing a catalog, a library of content you already know or consume. But with this film, I think it deserves many more different viewings and many more viewers to watch it. Guys, this film is absolutely beautiful. The story is well told. Only downside I have with this film is that a lot of the film is centered around one specific location, which is great and all because I love when films do that. It's just that I wish there was a few more settings or exterior or interior scenes that we can explore more of. But other than that, no, this is a great film from start to finish. I was really engaged as a viewer. There was a lot of great moments in the film, a lot of levity too, a lot of jokes, but the powerhouses of this film all comes with the cast, especially when it comes into the cinematography, the editing as well, and of course the direction too. The direction with these characters are amazing. Guys, I'm gonna give Ma Rainey's Black Bottom a solid A. Guys, what did you think about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix? Did you guys catch it? Did you guys watch it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys didn't like it? Love to hear you guys' thoughts down below in the comment section below. Minari is directed by Lee Isaac Chung and stars Stephen Young. And it is the new film from Stephen Young and A24. And guys, this film really dives deep and hit me in an emotional, physical, and mental state. This movie has everything. It is an emotional roller coaster from start to finish, and it draws on the complexities and the hardship when it comes into arriving to a new country and to adapting and really surviving and working really hard and diligently for yourself and for your family. It draws on, of course, the American ideal to achieve the American dream. A lot of the messages are strong and resonant and dives deep into what it is like from transitioning from one country to another, the challenges along the way, and of course when it comes into facing a lot of different challenges, but not only by yourself but with your family, and a lot of the things with this film really dives deep into that. It's a very sweet and heartfelt movie. I can't remember the last time I cried, and I think this was the movie that did that for me. But for the most part, yes, I loved Minari. I think it's a beautiful story that deserves to be watched. Guys, I loved Minari from start to finish. It's a beautiful film that's worth watching, worth your time. So I'm going to give Minari a solid A+. So guys, what did you think about Minari? Did you like it? Did you didn't like it? What are your thoughts on Minari? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section below. Another Round is directed by Thomas Wittenberg and stars Mads Mikkelsen. This film really draws a lot of attention when it comes into the music and the absurd plot. But the plot, I think, is totally original and something that will not happen very likely in person because there's going to be a lot of different consequences and of course you get into trouble. But the whole premise of the story is that a group of teachers in the secondary school is, you know, trying to evolve and trying to try new things. So they have an idea based on an article that says that our blood level of alcohol consumption is at a low rate. So if you consume alcohol in a daily basis, then it will improve cognitive activity and that you'll be able to go through your day and at a much better and faster rate. So these guys, these group of teachers in Denmark decide to drink every day and to make sure that they reach at a level of a blood level, alcohol level. And guys, this movie is this movie is a lot of fun. This movie has a lot of beats from start to finish that draws deep with the viewer, because it's not only the absurd plot that catches the attention to the viewer, but also you can relate to what it's like to grow older. Because when you're growing older, you're realizing that life does take a toll on you. You know, that a lot of different ups and downs may come across your way with life, and that you're going to be in a rut. You're going to be stuck in a rut, and that you're going to try different things to try to liven things up. And I think that's the message and moral of the story, is that you can't just live life in one direction. You know, you have all these different avenues. You have all these different ways to, you know, pretty much enjoy life. And while life is short, you can enjoy it with your friends and family. But also along the way, you have to be more responsible along the way, you know. And I think this movie draws attention to that. There's a lot of the things that these characters do that are questionable at best. But at the end of the day, it's all about trying to live up and live for the moment. I think that's the central core, the central theme for this movie. And I loved it. It was such a great way to watch a film and be like glued to the screen. To me, that happens rarely when it comes into a movie like that, where you are so focused, you're so laser focused on the film, and that you don't even watch, you know, your phone, or you look at your time and stuff. No, that you stay focused on the film and you get drawn and attached to these characters. And I think Mads Mikkelsen portrays his character beautifully. I loved it from start to finish. The music, of course, the music is amazing. If you are under the weather, or if you're in a bad mood, put on this movie, listen to the soundtrack, and tell me you won't put the song on repeat again and again and again. Because this movie really draws a lot of attention to you. I'm going to give Another Round a solid A+. So guys, what did you think about Another Round? Did you like it? Did you didn't like it? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. Promising Young Woman is directed by Emerald Fennell and stars Carey Mulligan. And guys, this movie caught me by surprise. It took me off guard, and I had no idea what this movie was about walking in. I don't really remember if I've seen any trailers or TV spots or commercials for this film, but what I will say is that Carey Mulligan is one of my favorite actresses. I've always loved her work, and of course I have a huge crush on her. But this film really draws into not only the feminism and a lot of great motifs and themes that are explored in this film. What I think that this film really draws close attention to is, you know, when it comes into the very strong and sensitive and complex nature of, you know, rape or trauma, or when it comes into past traumas when dealing with events that occurred and that stays with you as you go your day, you know, day by day. And this film at first has a lot of different avenues could have explored. You know, I think that this film had many different ways it could have gone. It could have gone the revenge John Wick tale, you know, or it would have gone towards the horror aspect and you would have seen a huge twist to it. But I think this film draws at the center of it, you know, because I think for me that this film really draws close attention to is Carey Mulligan and her character specifically. It's her show, it's her movie, and it's her, basically her journey along the way with this character. So along the way, yes, the story development is a little confusing at first. You know, you're trying to figure out where the story is going, you know, and by the first act, you are established to this character with Carey Mulligan. By the second act, it starts to head towards a different way. And then by the third act, I think that this film really drew out of left field, and it took a detour, took a left turn, and I had no idea what to expect. I thought this film was great in terms of the writing. The writing, of course, is great. The direction, of course, and the characters as well. It's just by the third act, I can understand why viewers were upset. I can understand why people didn't really, you know, gravitate towards the third act. But for me, I think that the third act could have been either or, you know? You could have stayed with the third act, or you could have written an entirely different third act. I just wish that it would have been a little longer too. That's one of my complaints about this film. I think that if you would have made this film a little longer, probably maybe 15, 20 minutes longer, we would have explored more with that. Along the way, didn't really know its identity. That's one thing too, where I think that this film would explore one direction. To me, I think it would have been a great horror film in that way. But at the end of the day, through IMDb and through different websites, it's known as a drama or, you know, thriller and all these different genres. And to me, honestly, I don't know what genre you can put on this film. And me personally, I don't like labeling things. That's ridiculous. It's a film where you can capture your interpretation, and it's always subjective, in my opinion. So in my thoughts, I think that this film really struggles into finding its own identity. But at the end of the day, it's Carey Mulligan's movie because she is phenomenal in this role. It's just that I think the direction, you know, could have been a bit better, you know, especially by the third act. So I'm going to give Promising Young Woman a solid C. So guys, what did you think about Promising Young Woman? Did you guys like it? Did you guys didn't like it? Judas and the Black Messiah was directed by Shaka King and stars Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield, and many more. And guys, right off the bat, let me just say that this film really hits home. It really hits home for many reasons, but one in particular is one that is the reason why I love film so much. The reason why I love film so much is because you as a viewer, you sit down in a dark room and watch these movies and you escape from your reality, but you jump into another reality, you know, forget about your worries, to forget all about, you know, all your thoughts, and to just focus on a movie. This movie brings that and many more. Judas and the Black Messiah is a film that is worth watching, and it should be taught in film schools, should be taught in schools in general, because this movie is really important and it draws home a lot of strong messages and stuff that we see on a daily basis, and many different news articles and many different news headlines and news reports. This movie shows all of that. It shows and holds a giant mirror and shows it to the viewer and shows you what the reality of living life as it is right now. Of course, with everything that happened back in 2020 with the George Floyd case, with Black Lives Matter, with a lot of different, you know, advocates and movements and marches and protests, along with a lot of different injustices in this country, in the US. A lot of the things that are explored on a daily basis when it comes into news reports are shown here, and it just solidifies how much of history and how much it repeats itself. Because this movie draws onto that, but in a setting with Daniel Kaluuya at the starring role, and he dominates this role. He is just oozing a lot of his talents in this movie. He has so much into the play, into this film, and of course won respectively for an Oscar for his performance in this role, and I think it deserves a lot more. Like I said, this movie really draws home, and I've never been stunned like this after watching the movie, because I knew a lot about Fred Hampton in the Black Panthers when I was growing up and middle school and high school, and learning more about the Black Panthers and, you know, along with the civil rights movement and everything like that. I knew a lot about that. But when it comes into the complexity and a lot of the tragedy that he, you know, dealt with, that, you know, growing up and everything like that, that I didn't know. And I think Shaka King really portrays that beautifully in the writing and in the direction, of course, with the film. Daniel Kaluuya again, one of my favorite actors of all time right now. He is great. I loved him ever since Get Out, and to now he's growing more and more as an artist, which is beautiful. And I think that he can do no wrong at all. As long as he's keeping working and, you know, doing all these things at his career, he's going to skyrocket into many different levels. He has an Oscar now, so he's already there anyway. Judas and the Black Messiah is a beautiful story, worth watching. It's sad, of course, what happened to Fred Hampton so young, but the movement and the revolution is still here. You know, after all these years later, you watch this movie and you can't help but to go out and to raise your voice, you know, and to go out and to protest and to do what is meaningful to you, because the injustices you see every day continues unless you do something about it, you know. And I think that this film really puts a mirror and hands you the torch, and when it hands you that torch, you got to go out and show people your power and your voice, and to show what you truly care about, you know. And I think that this film sparked a flame in me, you know. It's rare that you watch a movie and you're stunned by it, but you want to take action, you know? And this film really draws into that with me. We have to be the one to provide a voice for the voiceless for generations to come. You know, this film really draws home to that. And a lot of the things that are portrayed in this film, yeah, it's shocking, it's hurtful, and, you know, it pains me to watch. I'm going to give Judas and the Black Messiah a solid A+. So guys, what did you think about the film? Did you like it? Did you didn't like it? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down in the comment section down below. Mailman Land is directed by Chloe Zhao and stars Frances McDormand. Now, Frances McDormand, to me, guys, is easily the best actress, surpassing Meryl Streep right now. Meryl Streep has been on a streak right now. She's been on a roll, but with Frances McDormand is going through new heights. She is surpassing in all her roles she's given right now. I think a lot of the conversation that needs to be spoken right now and to discuss among film critics, among the film community, is whether or not Frances McDormand is better than Meryl Streep. The reason why I say that is because she's been knocking out of the park these past couple of years, and in this role is no different. She is magnificent in this role. Frances McDormand really portrays not only how it's like to live out on your own, to go out in your day and work really, really hard, but to draw the struggles and challenges along the way. Basically, the plot of the film is Frances McDormand's character, she is a retired school teacher and is living in her house and going cross country and living as a nomad and going about her day, and you're seeing the struggles and the challenges along the way as she's living by herself. And to be honest, this film is a slow burn at first, yeah, but that's secondary. For me, I think that this film really draws onto not only the complexities and the struggles and the different challenges along the way that you're experiencing and with the character and relating to the character, but it just draws on an emotional level, because the place, the mental state I can't imagine Frances McDormand went to for this character is unimaginable. She draws close to you as if you don't even see her as an actress in this film. She is so blended in this character that her performance is absolutely flawless. I cannot recommend this movie enough, because this movie is magnificent. This movie can do no wrong. It was already won Best Picture along the way, but this film, I think, deserves multiple viewings. It's an easily heart-wrenching and beautiful story and painful story to watch, but you can't help but to root for Frances McDormand's character along the way. And this film really draws home and really resonates with the viewer. So I'm going to give Mailman Land a solid A+. So guys, what did you think about Mailman Land? Did you like it? If you didn't like it, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts down below in the comment section below. And if you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so very much for that. And don't forget to like and comment and hit the subscribe button to get notified when I upload new videos. I hope you guys are doing very well, and I can't wait to hear from you guys very soon. Take care, guys. Peace out.